Hey guys, Ivan here with the Old School Labs, and we are starting this video with Brandon Hendrickson, who is your current Men's Physique Mr. Olympia champion, claiming, or as he says, gunning, or just let's say planning to become Mr. Olympia in Men's Physique and Classic Physique as well. So to win 2 Mr. Olympias in these both divisions. So he says, I'm gunning to be the first Men's Physique and Classic Physique Mr. Olympia. Stay tuned. There is also a response of the current Classic Physique champion, Chris Bumstead, says, guys got big dreams. So yeah, Chris is there too, checking out what's happening on Instagram, checking out who is calling him out, defending his title verbally and of course physically on stage. But right here, I mean, I'm not saying he's scared of Brandon Hendrickson, but he is a Mr. Olympia champion in another division, but there's a lot of good Classic Physique competitors that came out of Men's Physique division. The track record though will show that more successful Classic Physique competitors are previous bodybuilders. Obviously, Chris Bumstead turned pro in Open, Brian did 212, and Danny Hester also did bodybuilding way back then. So none of those guys, none of the Mr. Olympia champions in Classic Physique did Men's Physique before, so that will be something new. I mean, not just the guy being the Mr. Olympia champion in Men's Physique, but just a Men's Physique competitor, former competitor, winning a Mr. Olympia in Classic Physique. That's an achievement of its own, but having 2 Mr. Olympia titles in different divisions, that would be something unique. Anyways, I checked out his Instagram to see if there are any shots of himself posing as a bodybuilder or Classic Physique competitor or whatever, and I noticed there are quite a few, so this guy likes to pose like a bodybuilder. You can find a lot of photos of this guy posing, and you can actually see his physique from many different angles. You can see what he's having right now, and is it enough to eventually, win the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia title or to be a good Classic Physique competitor. So in this first shot right here, you can see his back and his legs. Back looks phenomenal. It looks amazing, actually. Very aesthetic, very deep striated. There is a lot of details, a lot of density, thickness. Everything looks just great. I mean, low inserted lats, width is there, thickness is there. It just looks good. It's a good back. Chris has good back now, but he doesn't have traps that stick genetically. And there are some other flaws in his back that are just genetically there, but he improved it a lot. This guy has good genetics when it comes to back. Take a look at that Christmas tree as well. But then, downstairs, we can all agree that it is bad. And that's probably the reason why he's doing Men's Physique. His legs are really small. I mean, look at the size of his legs compared to his upper body. Yeah, it's the angle. It's a photo taken from above. But they are lagging only in size. I'm not saying that he lacks shape. Everything is just well shaped. He just needs mass. Can he add that mass? I think it is possible, and here you can see that he's just overall small. He's not as big as Chris Bumstead, for example. No, he's not in that level of size, but he does have the shape. He just needs to add a lot more mass. Now, the legs, here's the thing. I mean, there is a lot of bodybuilders lagging legs. And I don't think the problem with Brandon here is shape. No. For example, I have Johnny Jackson, and his problem is definitely shape. Here, I don't see it. I think it's just overall mass. And if he did crazy workouts, like giant sets for legs, that's the hardest thing you can do. If you can punish your legs not every day, but like once a week, very, very hard, and you do every other protocols needed, you will grow your legs. And I think he can do that easily. If he decides to, if he really decides to do the Classic Physique. I don't know about his weight, how close he is to the Classic Physique weight cap. I don't think he's close. He looks very small here, not as big as the other Classic Physique guys, so I think he has a lot of room to grow, and if he grows in right places, especially in those legs, he can be a solid Classic Physique competitor. Why not? I'm not saying he can win it. I don't know about that. It might happen. I don't know, but he can do well in Classic, sure. I mean, it is a pretty nice, pretty classic, pretty aesthetic looking physique, and he has that small, tiny waist, which is very, very essential in Classic Physique. And when it comes to, being one of the top pros, sure, he has it. He has the shape, he has the symmetry, he has the lines, he has the classic look. What he needs is simply more mass. And the fact that he is far away from the weight cap. Because if he is close and he can't add a lot of muscle, then he has nothing to do in a Classic Physique division because he's way too small. He looks small. I don't know how small would he look standing next to the other guys, but just taking a look at him right here, in all of these photos, you can see that he's not as big as the other classic physique guys. So, it's possible that he can do well. Can he win Mr. Olympia? I'm not saying that it is absolutely impossible, but I'm saying it's really hard, and it's a bold statement. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comment section. Interestingly enough, Logan Franklin posts a photo of himself, photo update. I think it's recent, why not? In which he looks absolutely insane. The waist size, wow, super tiny. And he adds a caption, "I'm working for those classic proportions while maintaining a man's physique worthy waistline." So he's saying that man's physique guys have small waists, and he's a former man's physique competitor, so he's still trying to maintain that small waist while growing and while learning how to pose as a classic guy. And he's doing really well, and I can see big future in this guy for sure. And maybe he was inspiration to Brandon Hendrickson to make that post, to make it actually that comment, because he saw Logan here. He did well. He was 9th at a Mr. Olympia. At a Mr. Olympia, guys. So that's a big achievement for somebody who was previously a man's physique competitor and wasn't even a Mr. Olympia. He was, good, but he wasn't really Mr. Olympia. He was maybe like top 5, top 6, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And he transferred. He looks amazing here. He has a small waist. And so that probably made Brandon Hendrickson think, well, I do have small waist as well. Maybe I can do as well as Logan. And I am a man's physique Mr. Olympia champion. So maybe I can do better than him. And definitely classic physique is more like bodybuilding. And I don't know about Brandon Hendrickson, how much he likes bodybuilding, but based on his Instagram and a bunch of bodybuilding poses in his feed, I think he likes to pose. I think he likes wearing trunks. I think he likes to be a bodybuilder. Classic physique bodybuilder, open bodybuilder, whatever. I think he's pretty much well aware that he cannot beat Big Ramy in open, but he can do some damage in classic. And Logan Franklin here probably felt the same way. So he took that step, he took that leap into classic physique and did well. He did well for himself, he made his name much bigger, especially, in the last year, especially because he kind of created this fake rivalry against Chris Bumstead, and Chris accepted it, he embraced it. I'm sure Chris knew that Logan hasn't really got a chance against Chris, but the audience liked it, it's kind of like an underdog, somebody who never stepped on that Mr. Olympia stage can take the champ out. People like the idea, and these guys went with it. They created traction, both of them, but I'm sure Logan had more benefits than Chris. Anyways, he did well. Whatever, he didn't win. He wasn't second. He was 9th. Still, great achievement. 9th in the world in classic physique. Maybe Brandon Hendrickson can do the same or better. I'm sure he thinks he can do better by saying that he is going to become another Mr. Olympia in classic physique as well. Alright, so we have Flex Lewis with a physique update. First one after he announced that his prep for 2021 Mr. Olympia has started. In case you missed it, here is an announcement. It happened 3 days ago, and basically it's a lengthy text. You can read it if you want by yourself, but what he's saying is that his training for Mr. Olympia 2021 is beginning right now, and that kind of tells us that he's got an invite, another special invite. He got it last year, he didn't utilize it. I guess he can take it to in the next year. I'm not sure if this is right decision by Mr. Olympia. I mean, I don't know how people will feel about this. Me personally, I like it. I definitely want to see Flex, and I'm sure most people will be okay with it. I don't know about the bodybuilders though, but I'm okay with it. I'm sure you guys will be as well. I don't know about the bodybuilders, but I'm sure us fans are happy that we're gonna see potentially Flex Lewis on a Mr. Olympia stage against the open guys. That's gonna be amazing. So, officially, he started training, and this is his most recent photo. Or is it? I mean, he's not saying exactly that this is recent, but he's not saying that it isn't. He took a photo of himself, and he says the countdown. As he said in his last post about Mr. Olympia, he tagged his coach. So, yeah, it's kind of pretty clear that this is recent. And you can see right here, this is recent, of course, that he looks good. He is great. He's at a great point. He didn't lose any size. The reason why he withdrew from that Mr. Olympia 2020 was a shoulder injury, and he started having stem cell treatment. He's gonna record this for his YouTube channel. He's gonna vlog about it, so you can follow his journey to the Mr. Olympia. He's gonna be doing that kind of shoulder recovery stuff because it's not healed properly still. He's gonna try to fix it as he goes along with his prep, but it's a good point where he is right now. He looks big, he looks thick, the arms are looking amazing as always, and I'm curious. I'm really curious to see him in that open division. So far, 212 competitors did really well in the open, and there is also talk about Sean Clarita doing the same thing. You know, Hari did really well, and Flex was able to beat Hari at certain times when Hari was smaller, but Flex is gonna get bigger as well. That's gonna be very, very interesting. You guys have no idea. I mean, if you are not aware, trust me, that's gonna be super exciting. Just think about it. It's amazing. Let's wait and see. Let's hope he actually pushes, through all this stuff that he has with shoulder injury. He pushes through and eventually gets to the Mr. Olympia stage at his best. Let's really hope for that. I really wish that's gonna be the way, and it's gonna be an amazing Mr. Olympia for sure. And I'm also pretty sure that you're gonna see a really good version of Roelly Winklaar at that Mr. Olympia, because he hasn't really been posting a lot of stuff, a lot of physique updates lately. Lately he has, but for a while there, he hasn't really been posting anything. Lately, actually, he had posted a lot because he looks good right now, and yeah, he's prepping for something. I have the feeling that he's gonna do the first show that comes so he can get ready, in time to be, again, very good at the Mr. Olympia. He is not qualified. He didn't compete last year. He is not gonna get a special invite, So he's gonna have to try and qualify by winning some show. He says he has big goals and he wants it all. That's what he says. So based on that, I made a video about it previously, but I have a feeling that he's gonna do the Arnold Classic next year. This year, actually. And then Mr. Olympia. And then hope to win Mr. Olympia as well, which is not impossible. Roelly is a good bodybuilder. Don't underestimate him. Think about it. He was third at Mr. Olympia 2018 against insanely good version of Sean Roden and a pretty good version of Phil Heath. So he can get back on that horse if he improves his back, as he's trying to do right here in this photo. If he improves it a little and comes super sharp, that's going to be a dangerous package that can beat anybody pretty much. We also have a physique update of James Hollingshead, Mr. Thickness. This guy is a beast. He is really big. And you know what? He is still growing. He's still trying to get bigger and better. And of course he can get better for sure, much better, but he can get even bigger. I think he can because he is pretty young in this sport. And I know about his work ethics, which are absolutely insane. He reminds me, with his mindset, a lot of Ronnie Coleman. He's kind of like that. He's very optimistic. He always finds bright spots in everything in life. And he's very positive, very optimistic. He really loves bodybuilding. He's really passionate about it. Telling you guys, he reminds me of Ronnie Coleman a lot. Way back, 2 years ago, when I created my own YouTube channel, even bodybuilding, one of the first videos, if not the very first video, was about this guy, back when not a lot of people knew about him. I noticed his work ethics, and I noticed his potential in terms of shape, symmetry, proportions, balance, and everything. And I knew that this guy is gonna be a good pro one day, and that he's gonna be one of the top Olympians eventually. He qualified for the Mr. Olympia. For Mr. Olympia 2020, he decided not to do it. And he did another show later that was qualification for 2021 Mr. Olympia. So he's qualified for the Mr. Olympia of this year. He's gonna do it. He has a plan. If everything goes well, of course, he's gonna be on that stage much improved. And this guy, as I said, Mr. Thickness, he is big. When he stands next to the other guys, he shines. As he likes to say it, when he's on the stage, you can see who is lifting heavy stuff off the floor and who isn't, because he is a freak in the gym. He's really strong. He's squatting like 7 plates for reps, deadlifting crazy weights, like benching 5 plates. He's not a powerlifter, but he can be one of the top powerlifters if he wanted to. He is a really strong guy, and it shows in his physique. He's really big. He's qualified for Mr. Olympia once again, and I can't wait to see him. I'm really curious how would he do if he did 2020 Mr. Olympia, but I'm having him in that top 10. Yeah, He has a flaw though, it's back double bicep. His lower lats are not that good. Everything else though looks amazing. His back looks great in the back lat spread. So he still needs to improve a lot of things, but he is big, he can get shredded, and he has the work ethics. He's very devoted, very passionate, and I can expect only a lot of progress of this guy in the future. And the guy who was just standing next to James on the stage is posting an update of his physique. It's the most recent one after the Mr. Olympia, of course. It's Regan, who looks absolutely amazing right here. He says he's 270 in the morning. That's a big guy. That's a big bodybuilder. 270 in the off season, looking lean like this. He's growing. He is growing. If Jay Cutler is right, he's gonna be one of the top guys, if not a future Mr. Olympia champion. One day the older guys will have to retire, and I'm sure if Regan stays consistent, he will be one of the top 5 guys eventually. I don't know if they're gonna be crazy freaks or if he's gonna deflate eventually. I don't know about that, but I do think he has the potential to be one of the top guys since he is so young and looks so amazing right now. He is big, and now in the off season he's bigger and looks lean at the same time. A lot leaner than many guys in the off season. So he is growing and staying lean, so that's just pure muscle. I mean, yeah, sure, it's some fat and a lot of water, I'm sure, but still he's getting bigger. He's getting bigger and he wants it. He wants to improve. So once he improves himself enough with his structure, with his beautiful lines, he's gonna do well. I have no doubts. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comment section. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.